Hey, y'all, happy Friday. Welcome into the building. I hope y'all gonna have, I hope y'all have some good plans for the weekend. You know, just when we thought we were done with Diddy, boop, something else pops up. Listen, let me tell you something. Tonight's trending topics is time tells the truth. Time tells truth. That's what Diddy wrote a couple days ago. He said time tells truth. Well, wasn't he right with that? Give it up for Puffy on that note. He said time tells truth, and whoop, it sure did. All of a sudden, CNN, out of nowhere, they get a video clip from 2016 of Diddy putting his hands on Cassie. Watch the words you write in the chat, guys. And when the panel come up, watch the words that you say. Okay? Truth tells time. Yes. He said the time tells truth. And it sure did. Somebody asked me earlier, why did you put Diva he was touching Cassie? You know, you two get sensitive with the words. Beating Cassie down. But when Kim Porter said, and I'm a paraphrase, Cassie ain't that innocent either. She watched it happen to Kim Porter. Whoa. You know what? I told y'all before, I will never understand a female who will get with a guy that they see clearly didn't treat the ex right, and they think that their destiny is going to be different. We're going to talk about Diddy tonight. So let me tell you this. King Combs, he thought he was defending the family name. No, he helped sink the ship. Now, there's nobody in this world. There's no one in this world that wants to get played in their face. Nobody wants you playing in their face. But let me tell you this for sure. You should never, and I mean ever, play in the face of Homeland Security, the Popo, the FBI, or none of that. If you're going to play with somebody, don't play with them. I see somebody trying to get backstage. The platform is packed, y'all. It's packed. Sorry, the platform is packed. People waiting to get in. If you're going to play in somebody's face, do not let it be the FBI, the police, or Homeland Security. No, you're a fool if you do that. You're a straight fool. And so they know what they know already, okay? They know what they knew already. So Diddy laid low for 2.2 seconds, and then his arrogance, it popped right back up. And he started posting again. But he was using the family. Posting baby love. Baby love is gorgeous. You know, you're always going to get somebody, pull somebody's heartstrings when you posting the kids and the babies. Posting baby love. Posting with his family. Then he got real arrogant. Time tells truth. But then his son, His son sunk the ship because he couldn't keep his mouth closed. What did Kathy Hillen say? Silence is golden. He couldn't keep his mouth closed. So he writes a diss record, think he's defending the family name, the Combs name. And he said in the song, he played the whole family out with that one. He said in the song, yeah, they raided our home, but too bad they didn't get the one we bought next door. Now, let me tell y'all the significance of what happened here. It's according to Diva. You don't got to agree with me. They been had this information. CNN wasn't digging and looking and all of a sudden found something. Stop. See what happened? Diddy went and he had to respond to those lawsuits against him because you got to respond. And he responded telling the judge, dismiss him. And his lawyer, rightfully so, right? You pay your lawyer to do his job. They found a whole lot of loopholes and said dismiss it because of this, that, and the other. And they was right calling out those particular loopholes legally. So, but one thing that people know is that this the cancel culture. And they know that we visual people. I mean, everybody is outraged. Now they're saying lock him up. Well, Cassie said back in November or December 2023 that he dragged her and beat her and punched her, whatever. Who was saying lock him up then? Who was calling him a monster? Now Cassie husband speaking out, this one speaking out, that one speaking out. They've been doing it. Cassie said it. But see, they know we are visual people. So to hear it is one thing, to see it is another thing. So the lawyers, in my opinion, that were pissed off that Diddy responded, well, Diddy and his lawyers responded to those lawsuits and saying dismiss. They was like, they think you're going to get us on a technicality. And of course, legally, if a lawyer has that video, legally, they can't leak it out. So by a miracle, CNN, not your local news, not ABC, NBC, Channel 9 News or whatever, CNN got a hold exclusively of the video. Well, ain't that something? We got to talk tonight, y'all, but y'all better buckle your seatbelts. I want to know, are y'all ready to talk? Are you ready to talk? CNN out of nowhere, they got the video. See, Diddy and his lawyers, he pissed that other lawyer off because they thought this was going to be another easy payday. But when the lawyers came back, would say, no, you can't sue those companies. Those companies didn't even exist when this person said it was violated. You know, a lot of people say, yes, the video was hard to watch. The video was hard to watch, but I don't know. Did y'all see that video? I forgot how many years ago with the football player that knocked his girlfriend out at the time in the elevator, and then she married him later. I seen worse. It was hard to watch, but I seen worse. Did you not see the video? I think it was another football player. He was tossing his baby mama around her apartment like she was a piece of paper, threw her into the TV, and the baby was in the room. I seen worse. So, yeah, it was hard for me, but I have seen worse. I have. So, yeah. This DV thing is serious. Come on, the Don. The train is going to... Oh, shoot now. The Don said, y'all better buckle up. Buckle up, people. Because we over here, we're going to have a real conversation. We're not going to stay stuck. and the sensationalism of it all. We're going to have a conversation tonight. Because I know everybody's like, oh my God. And yeah, when I saw it, I was like, oh, shoot. So what Diddy was doing was, he thought he was coming on the other side of the road. He thought things were lightening up. That's why he started to post again, the family, the this, the that, the other. But I'm telling you, King Combs did not help the family situation. He did not. No, he did not. You do not play in the face of the FBI, Homeland Security. What are you doing? That's why 50 Cent told him. He said, are you dumb or you stupid? You know they still watching y'all. You can't be this dumb. Yeah, the demon got comfortable. You ain't lying. Yes, he did. And he messed around and he found out. Because remember, he was like, I deny the hideous accusations against me. I didn't do none of it. Boy, did you do it. But if we're going to talk, let's talk. Let's talk about the hotel who had this on video in 2016 and let that man, I'll be nice, get away with it. Forget about if Diddy's people knew for right now, for just 2.2 seconds. Forget about if his security knew for 2.2 seconds. He didn't do this in the hotel room behind closed doors. He didn't do this in the hotel room behind closed doors. He chased after her in the hallway of the hotel. She was trying to press for the elevator. He came, he kicked her and dragged her back to the room. He was throwing stuff in from the hotel, throwing stuff at her. They had it on tape in 2016. He's a demon, and so are all the people that let it go down under their watch. So she continued to get hurt after that, and other people got hurt after that when they could have simply at that particular time turned that video over to the police. So tonight, we want to call everybody out. We're going to call everybody out. And let me say this. Kim Porter's friend said Cassie seen him doing stuff to Kim Porter before they even got really into their relationship. So God bless the woman who's foolish enough to think, oh, I'm better than that chick he treated dirty. Well, Neo's wife thought that. And then how many kids does Neo's wife have by him? 2, 3. And she found out later, her whole 8 years she was married to him, she want to cry later talking about, oh, he did me dirty. He did Moyetta dirty. And you knew that, and you thought you was going to get treated better. I want to ask y'all, can we have a conversation tonight? Yeah, listen, let me tell you something. He paid for the tape, right? But let's be clear here. Thank you, Q. In 2016, they already had the cloud. So Diddy was stupid. If he thought that dropping 50K and he got the footage, that was going to be the only footage. Let's be clear now. You got a whole bunch of people that saw that and probably kept it in their back pocket until it was time. So we got to have a conversation tonight, and I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready. Yeah, and then you know what demon like to take. Come on, ask R. Kelly. All them tapes took him down. The FBI didn't have to leak no tape. FBI, they don't got time for that. The FBI didn't have to leak no tape. That tape had been sitting with somebody for years now. Diddy was not the only one with the tape. In the hotel, even though they are no longer in existence, they need to find all those people and they need to be sued. Because you had a due diligence to tell that there was some DV going on in your hotel. And you had it on tape. Now, y'all better buckle your seatbelt. Are y'all ready? Because we're going to get into this. We're going to get into it. I need a what, Sean, in the chat? I need a choo-choo. Hold aboard, everybody. It is Friday Night Trending Topics. And listen, if you can't handle the conversation, I won't be mad at y'all. Y'all can come see me tomorrow, okay? But we're going to have a conversation and we're going to talk some truths. We're going to talk some truths. Because now everybody, they big and bold. Lock him up. He's a demon. That girl done wrote 37 pages in 2023. Y'all need a visual to call somebody a demon and say, lock him up. Let's chat. Let me bring the people on in the building. Hold on 1 second now. Hey, Leo.
Hey, Diva. Choo, choo, choo.
Choo, choo, choo. We're going to get into this, okay? We're going to get into it. Hey, in my opinion.
Hey, Diva. Choo, choo.
Choo, choo. Hey, Dadon. Hey, E. Katrina, Savannah, Wayne, Tay, Julius. Everybody, please mute your line.
Hey, y'all.
Yes, hey. Please mute your line. I'm going to go through the first story. Now, I'm not going to show the video because the video is going to get me, in a pickle, so to speak. I'm not going to show the video. I'm sure by now many of y'all have been on the streets all day and y'all seen it, okay? So let me go ahead and share screen and let's get into this, all right? 1 second. Let me see where this is at. All right. So the fans react to a terrifying video of Sean Diddy Combs punching, kicking ex Cassie Ventura, and the fans are calling, they saying, lock him up. Lock him up. Fans are sharing the reactions to the terrifying surveillance video of Sean Diddy Combs punching and kicking his then girlfriend Cassie Ventura in a hotel in 2016. It's 2024. The entire video is very terrifying. Look at Diddy running after Cassie like a madman. That he is just madman, just to put his hands on her. Okay, and this man has 4 daughters. Lock him up right now and throw away the key. God only knows the things that he did to Cassie, wrote one user on X today. We have proof, so ain't nothing else to question. Sean Puffy, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Diddy, and Love Combs is a disgusting person, and anyone willing to defend his actions should seek therapy right along with him. Added another. Okay, that was him running down the hall in his towel. He was holding his towel as he was kicking her, pulling her, and everything else. He's psychotic. Okay? Diddy is effing disgusting. Attempting to change his name to Love after treating a woman like that is some of the nastiest, most manipulative work I've ever seen. Pack him up for good. I'm so proud of Cassie for getting out, tweeted a third fan. Seeing Diddy run down the hallway half naked while Cassie is right at the elevator trying to get her shoes on, so close to freedom, knowing she can hear him coming is something out of a goddamn horror movie. My heart started beating so fast that a fourth person. Some fans spoke out about Cassie claims that the now closed Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles was paid by the Bad Boy Records founder 54 to keep the video for the public for so long. Okay, that's him grabbing her. Okay, Diddy was paying hotels off thinking the footage was never going to surface. Wrong. Someone always make a copy, claimed one user. Come on now. Diddy paid the hotel $50K to keep the video from going public, but it got out anyway. What's done in the dark will always be brought to the light, added another fan. Social media was set to flames Friday afternoon when CNN released the disturbing video. which shows Combs chasing and assaulting Cassie, born Cassandra Ventura, in 2016. Okay. In the clip, the I'll Be Missing You rapper ran out of his hotel room, only ran the towel around his waist to chase after the Me and You singer 37 as she tried to get on the elevator to escape. When Combs reached Cassie, he grabbed her by the back of the neck, threw her on the floor. As she lay motionless, he kicked her 2 times before dragging the model by her sweatshirt. In a statement to page 6, Cassie lawyer Douglas H. Whitdore said, the gut-wrenching video has only further confirmed the disturbing and predatory behavior of Mr. Combs. Words cannot express the courage and fortitude that Ms. Ventura has shown in coming forward to bring this to light. Last November, Cassie filed a bombshell lawsuit against Combs, accusing him of physically abusing her and harming her throughout their 10-year relationship. In fact, the Long Way to Go singer detailed the incident in the leaked surveillance video in the complaint. In the suit obtained by page 6, Cassie claimed that around March 2016, Combs became extremely intoxicated and punched Ms. Ventura in the face, giving her a black eye. The mom of 2 alleged in the complaint that she attempted to leave the hotel room after the remote TV founder fell asleep, but he woke up and followed her into the hallway of the hotel while yelling at her. He grabbed at her and he took glass vases in the hallway and threw them at her, causing glass to crash around them as she ran to the elevator to escape, the suit alleged. Cassie also claimed in the lawsuit that Combs argued her in her apartment while she repeatedly said no and tried to push him away. Though Combs denied the allegations, the lawsuit was settled the next day. Since Cassie's suit, the hip-hop mogul faced 4 other civil lawsuits accusing him of a rage of SM and other illegal activity. He denied all the allegations, but the video tells no lies. Whew. Leo, your thoughts?
Wow. I'm so, because see, I got so many thoughts. They all running together. This past weekend, Mother's Day weekend, Cassie Ventura got barraged with a whole bunch of hate on the social medias.
Oh, they
were sticking up. Yeah, they were sticking up for Diddy, telling her she's a liar, other people chiming in, other, so-called, Bravo celebrities, Peter Thomas running his mouth, trying to support Diddy, Meek Mill, all these people Meek Mill is a rapper, trying to support Diddy and dragging her like people in the comments were dragging Cassie in the process. And I think that there's a lot of people out here that just did not believe her story. It's all about the money grab. She was only after the money. These things didn't really happen. They couldn't see they fave doing such horrible things out his mouth. He said he did not do these heinous things and he gonna clear his name. Well, his name is mud from here on out.
Come on now.
What the people done figured out? I don't know, because I feel like because of the complaint, by the way it was written word for word, by what actually happened in the footage, the lawyers had this footage. Because if Diddy paid security to keep it under wraps, $50,000, then there's some other people out there that still had that footage that would know that if you pay me $200,000, I'll give you maybe the lawyers. I'll give you the copy of the footage. But keep in mind, when the people was trying to get this complaint, the feds was trying, or either the state of New York was trying, or Homeland Security was trying to get their paperwork together to go after Diddy. I also understood that Cassie's attorneys did turn over footage to the feds. So that footage has moved through different circles in different hands. So it's not impossible for CNN to get that footage. I don't know who turned it over. I don't know how it leaked out. Maybe somebody put it in a brown envelope and dropped it off at the CNN headquarters. I don't know. But what I can say is that now that the people see that this woman has actually told the truth, I say bravo to her or whomever that leaked it out, because this woman was never lying. We always got on the train and said we believe every word she said. I don't understand myself how this has circulated for so long that no one didn't leak this footage before to bring Diddy down. They better be glad I wasn't working in the security office. Maybe people was afraid of their lives. I don't know, but this footage should have been out. I don't know how it was kept in wraps. Maybe he made $50,000 payments every year. I don't know. You know.
No, the hotel. You know, the hotel is closed now.
But I'm talking about the security people who actually viewed the footage. Probably made copies. I would have.
Oh, well, I believe they have too. But you know what I think it really was? He was on top, and he was so feared by many for so long. And just imagine if you see him do this to his girlfriend, who was his girlfriend at the time. I'm sure many others have seen worse, because they claim that his rages are out of control when he gets into these rages. And anybody around him can fall victim to it, right? I think that they was trying to see what was going to go on, what they could get him on, and use the evidence then. But I think because he, came up with all of these ways to kind of slow down these cases, they wanted to let the public do this thing. And boy, is the public doing it.
He done. He done. And I want to say one more thing too. The way he beat her in that towel, just imagine how he beat her with clothes on and shoes and sneakers and stuff. Okay? He whipped her tail often. And she got with him when she was 19 years old. And I think the trauma of dealing with him probably, and she was doped up too, she probably had gotten desensitized to it, to the point of, even if she tried to leave, he caught her at the daggone elevator and stomped her. It was just ridiculous. And I thank God she is gone. I pray for her healing, because she right there, that's a damaged person right there. We just saw a person who is mentally damaged.
She ain't the only one, though. There's others. There's others. There's the girl, her name is slipping my mind right now, but as I go on it, in my opinion, I'm going to find her name. The girl did an interview with Tasha K and said she was pregnant, and allegedly he stomped on her stomach with the baby in it. The girl did an interview with Tasha K way before any of this stuff came out with Cassie. And Gina, thank you, Sasha. And her and Cassie would kind of like crossover. In my opinion, you're up.
So I really, you know what? I'm with Leo. I saw a lot of comments that people had put on Cassie page. And the one that stood out the most to me was by a black girl, and she said, "Never trust anyone who makes accusations, but then settles out of court for money. Once you start something, you should see it through to the end and expose the person for what they truly are. Taking money just seems like it wasn't that bad." I feel like that's stupid and ignorant to tell somebody that they pain that they went through wasn't what they went through because they settled. Because you don't know. We seen this video, okay, and I know it affected me. Okay, it affected me, brought back memories. And I was so taken back because that man had so much rage in him, the way he was handling this, and she's thinner than him, way thinner. And when he kicked her in her back, you could see she catapulted and hold her back. So I hate seeing this. I really wish that man would go to HE double hockey sticks, but that's all I got to say.
Thank you. Don, you're up.
Let's see how I want to say this. Well, first I want to say shout out to all of the Bleach Bond, Bad Body, Butch Body, and the Bad Belt women
Okay,
in the
hold on,
world.
Don. Hold on, Don. So the picture you
Um,
got up is Representative Crockett. Is that
yes,
correct?
Jasmine Crockett. And
Okay, so he talking about Marjorie Taylor
speak,
Greene.
speaking of the bleach blonde, bad built, butch body women, back in 2009, Wendy Williams told us this.
Come on now. You better talk. Let me sit up. You better talk to Don.
She told us that Diddy was a monster.
Ooh.
She told us that he did these things to women, his artists. She told us this, but we didn't believe her because she was the problem. You know, she had a lot of mouth.
Come on now.
So it's just coming to fruition. Everything she said back then, he got her fired.
Come on.
From Hot 97.
You better
she
talk.
Couldn't get on jobs. You know, it took her a while to get her legs again because of the truth she said about him back in 2009. So those of us in hip hop culture, we know what was said back then. I'm of everybody. I'm of the thought that everybody need to go down. We all know Diddy is a problem. We all know that he's abusive, but he wasn't the only problem and the only abusive one.
Come on, talk.
Because see, we like to sit in these comments and thoughts and opinions, and we like to say Cassie was a victim. Yes, but she also victimized.
Oh my gosh. You better talk.
And I just can't wait for the women whom she was the madam over do their own lawsuit. See, people don't want to hear that. Oh, she's a victim. She couldn't get out. She could. This proves she almost got out. So I don't want to hear she couldn't get out. Her strategy just wasn't good enough. When she was going to pick up those women from the clubs, possibly she could have got out. Now, I'm not saying her getting DV'd was her fault. Let me be clear. Her getting this done to her on the elevator is not her fault. However, she has a hand in this too. She stirred the pot as well. Her hands aren't clean. So should she get justice? She got paid? Absolutely. But those other victims need to get justice as well. Because we like to say, oh, she was young. How come that is always one sex that when they do something stupid is they young? We didn't say Diddy was young. Everybody needs to be held accountable for their actions, for their illegal actions. You can't sit here and tell me you gathered dozens, possibly hundreds of women for this crazy monster who did this to you over and over and over again, but you still gathered women. I'm just saying the quiet part out loud. We got to get all the victims.
Get them all. Get them all. So let me just thank you to Don for that, and I'm getting ready to come to you, Wayne. But let me just add to the conversation here. This ain't us talking. This is the people that inside the circle. Okay, this writer, Kalota, she was Kim Porter's friend. She said Diddy was a MFer. Y'all will not even begin to believe the way he treated Kim Porter. And ironically, Cassie back then allowed herself to be used to disrespect Kim in her own home. Cassie let herself be flaunted in Kim's face, laughed at Diddy beating Kim. Was awful. I feel bad for Cassie getting beat up like that. But I still remember when Cassie allowed herself to be used racially against Kim Porter as Diddy humiliated, beat, and repeat Kim for years. Y'all have always hated me for talking real about these men, but they deserve it.
Diva, let me say this one quick thing. A man that gathers women and prostitutes them out, called a pimp. A woman that gathers women and prostitutes them out is called a madam. I'm gonna need you to go to Webster. Do your due diligence tonight. We're gonna use all of our brain, not just the left side.
Now, I'm gonna say this, and I'm coming to you, Wayne. Let's try to come above just saying, oh, we victim shaming. We having a conversation here. When it was initially talked about Diddy, everybody lost their mind. No, not Diddy. And guess what? Now, yes, Diddy. Dig into this whole story and understand the entire situation. If I am in a situation and things are happening to me, things are happening to me. But now you sending me out to go get these other people. And I know what their fate is about to be. And I want to just blame it all on the person. See, that's what I'm telling you, Homeland Security, the feds are all having trouble. Why? Because they can't tie this directly back to Diddy. Because he always had somebody else doing the dirty work. And see, when you go to try to prove this thing, well, did he have a pow to your head every time he asked you to do this? No. Okay, but eventually you got out. How did that happen? Did you have to fight him? Did you let him go? Can we have conversation here? Wayne, you're up. Wayne, are you there? Can everybody else?
Diva,
okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can now.
Diva, can you hear me?
Yes. Okay, we're going to go to Savannah. Savannah, you up?
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay. You know, I wanted to say, regardless of what this woman did.
Okay, we're going to go to Savannah. Savannah, you up?
Oh, this can you hear me now?
You got it. You have another tab open, Wayne. You got to close them all out. I'll come back to you.
I'm delayed. Sorry, Diva.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, if you can still hear me, I was going to say, regardless of what this woman did, this man beat her like a dog. I don't care what she did. I don't care if she had 50 million people. He beat her like a dog, and she was trying to leave. You know, now, maybe the law on the other stuff that she did, that needs to be taken care of, but he beat the slop. A grown-ass man beat the slop out of her, which is uncalled for. I wouldn't want it done to my daughter, no matter what she did. I don't think anybody on that panel or in the chat would want it done to their daughter, regardless of what they did. You know, I'm not thinking about all, you know, the stuff that, you know, when in the past, you know, at the parties and stuff. At that moment, he beat the slop out of her. Now, she got paid already. So I don't know if she can get any more, but yeah, he beat the slop out. You ain't supposed to do that. Just ain't supposed to do that.
I appreciate you. If you know what, anybody think we're taking up for Diddy, you have lost it. I would not be taking up for that. Go ahead, Savannah, you're up.
Oh boy. So in December, I think we can recall when Diddy made that post, or I don't like calling him, when Sean made that post, enough is enough. For the last couple of weeks, I have sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character and destroy my reputation and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth. And I think that we are finally starting to see some of the truth. I am a star supporter that we have not seen the worst of this Sean saga. I think there are absolutely other victims that have suffered even more egregious and horrendous acts by the hands of Mr. Combs. Now we all learned of this because the Adult Survivors Act was set to expire in New York right before the holidays. I think it was Thanksgiving, and that's how we woke up and Cassie had dropped that lawsuit. I think, and when I see this video, it's been a hard day for me because what I see is, as a mother, my heart goes out to her mother because I see a small frame person, a body, laying defenseless on the floor. And I just see this monster towering over her. I agree with Leo. I can only imagine what was done when both his hands were free and when he was fully clothed with shoes on. If we can recall when Dave Chappelle had his skit and that person tried to bum rush him on the stage when they were attacking comedians, Sean Combs was one of the first ones to grab the offender that tried to rush the stage and beat him. I recall seeing the pictures of what that person looked like after he received the beating from the people on the that was sitting in the audience that came up to protect Dave. But Sean Combs was one of the first to jump up and grab the stage person and attack him and beat him, just like here, because he did some kicking and there was video surveillance of this. My heart goes out to Cassie. I am also of the mindset that when you're in these situations, you're in survival mode. And I saw a documentary this past weekend, about a case in the 1980s of a photographer that was taking young women against their will from malls. It's on Netflix, I believe. And one survived. He was on a 9-day spree across the United States, unaliving young girls. But he kept the last one, and they couldn't understand why. And he used that young lady to lure other women, other young girls, not because they weren't women, they were still teenagers. There was 2 that she lured into his car. And when they were able to get one of the survivors to the hospital, and she identified the man and the girl, they started calling the young girl an accomplice. But when she was interviewed, she was like, I'm in survival mode. I saw what he was doing to her, and I had to make it through till the next day. And that her statements resonated with some of what Cassie went through and what she's currently going through, because I can only imagine that this has triggered some really deep feelings for that young lady. So I'm not going to blame him. I'm glad we finally got to see it, but I'm still sitting by because we're waiting on the worst of what's to come from this Sean Combs saga.
Dawn, we are on the same train car tonight. Yes, so I want to be clear here. We are not speaking out the side of our neck. We read that entire lawsuit here on my channel, where she said on multiple occasions she would have to go out and get these individuals for the freak-offs. So I want to say this, and don't go low talking about victim blaming, all of that. I feel bad for Cassie and all the other women that man was with. Just because we see in the video of Cassie, Kim Porter suffered the same fate, and probably even worse, because she is not here right now. It is said that her nose was broken, allegedly by Diddy. She is not here now. Okay? There's the other girl, Gina. She said the baby was in her stomach. Okay, let me kick this person out. Give me 1 second, y'all. Okay. The baby was in her stomach. So no, I get it. Yes, I do feel for Cassie, but I feel for every single one of these young ladies. But let me speak generically for 1 second. Everybody wants to say, well, I was in survival mode. I was this, I was that, I was whatever. It seems as if, and we're going to leave Cassie out of this for a minute, when the person has money, survival mode lasts a little bit longer. Can we talk? Or are we going to be sensitive and act like, no, oh my God, no way? It seems like when the person has money, survival mode lasts a little bit longer. My husband is an NFL player. I'm going to deal with the cheating a little bit longer. My husband is Neil. I'm going to deal with the cheating a little bit longer. And all I'm going to say is this. I get it. Everybody's saying, come on now. Come on now. Can we talk, Tanya? So 10 years on and off. This thing was so horrific when it was off. I know she said the people was coming back, finding her and grabbing her. But at some point, ironically, he lets her go with her now husband. Did she age out? I don't know. It could be a lot of factors behind it. But all I'm saying is it seems like when there's a lot of cash involved, we ignore all the red flags. You saw with your own eyes, according to this other chick, not Diva, I showed y'all the post, that he was beating the Pope allegedly out of Kim Porter, and you saw that out your own eyes, and for some reason you thought that would never happen to you. Hold on 1 second. Listen, yes, Epstein victims did, but a lot of those people, they suffered consequences too. What's the number one? What's Epstein's? What was his number? His main girl? She locked up.
Virginia.
Whatever. Somebody locked up right now. Hold on 1 second.
Ghislaine. It's Ghislaine. Ghislaine, ain't it?
Okay, so hold on 1 second, guys. Where did I leave off at?
That's it. Ghislaine.
Thank you. E, you're up.
Well, thank you, Diva. I didn't need to see the video in order to know that it was true. But I will never forget when it was said how Cassie laughed at Kim Porter when she was being abused by Diddy and how she felt superior to this black girl as if she had one up because preferences get picked. I will not forget that. And now when this same black man does it worse to her, you won't see any tears from my eyes. Cassie knew who this man was. She knew how much money he was worth, and he was 18 years older than her. Now she's another statistic. Now, when I saw that video on CNN, I was actually at the condo. I was looking at condos and I was like, why are they showing this? All of a sudden I was confused by that. And then I started to think, okay, so they must have had this video for at least a few days. And then they finally got approval to put it out. They couldn't wait to bring on their other commentators and analysts to review the footage and tell us how this black man is such a monster, which he is. But then they framed the story to how brave Cassie was. And I had to think about what Cassie represents because Cassie wasn't the first woman he abused. But what Cassie represents is, I know through her mother and father, she is Black, Mexican, and Filipino. And they're painting this woman as a damsel in distress. And they're attempting to embed in our minds that this woman was helpless, demure, and searching for an exit. Now, in the video, Diddy struck her in the head. He threw her to the ground, and once on the ground, she laid in the fetal position until he kicked her twice. And he dragged her approximately 2 feet to the edge of the hall and dropped her there. And then he carried her overnight bag or whatever that was back to the room. And after taking the bag back to the room, Cassie was still laying there on the floor. Listen, I can't provide a clear response on what I'm looking at because the video has been chopped and chewed up. And what did they cut out? What did they not want us to see? This is not like that Jay-Z, Solange, and Beyonce elevator video where we saw a clear beginning, middle, and end, where we saw them enter the elevator, Solange lays down the hammer, and then security stops the elevator, lets Beyonce off, Solange follows, and then Jay-Z. In this video, there are particular cameras and angles that they want us to see, and it is intentional. And when we see Cassie walking down the hallway calmly, she pressed that button once for the elevator and stood there like she was waiting for her order at the Panera Bread. Not to mention all of this we're seeing on the video happened after she said he blacked her eye in the hotel room earlier that evening, because that's what it said in the paperwork.
Come on, you better talk. You
Now,
better talk.
I'm not sure how many of you have tried to get away from a man after being physically struck, but I have. And there's no way I'm pressing the elevator button only once. And I only bring that up because I'm not even looking at the chat, but I just know how people are. Listen, it was brought up earlier about being in survival mode. When I was in survival mode, I was running down the hallway. I was pressing that button for the elevator over and over and over until the elevator came up and the light turned on and the doors open. And if I hear him coming up from behind me, I'm kicking and screaming. I'm kicking, I'm screaming, I'm throwing everything I can squeeze, and I'm running down the hallway, knocking on everybody's door in an attempt to get some help. And I know everybody is not me, but I can only tell you my natural response when I was in a similar situation and I feared for my safety, since we're talking about being in survival mode, because survival mode looks differently if you're trying to get out and you are really in fear for your life versus when you are under contract and you're trying to put out some music. Okay. Now, if it's going down, I'm putting up a fight. Now, there's no audio on the tape, but in the court documents, Cassie and her attorney stated that there were witnesses at the hotel. And if you can find the video footage from May of 2016 that magically can appear in May of 2024, then you can find those witnesses too. So let's get those witnesses' statements queued up. Let's get Gail King and get them on an interview. Because I also want to know, why didn't those witnesses call the cops? If it was such a disturbance, I'm sure there must have been glass everywhere. She said he threw bases at her. Listen, that I want to get the more information on Kim Porter and what she went through, because as far as what I'm seeing now, she's the one that is without justice and cannot rest in peace. With $30 million, and I'm not saying money is the end all be all, but according to Cassie and her attorney, she agreed to settle and she is made whole in the eyes of the law. If Cassie is truly so fragile and mentally imbalanced, then why did CNN release the video? If they truly care about victims, wouldn't this in fact re-traumatize her all over again? Cassie is being used as a catalyst to weaken the giant in the way that the Black community would never allow Wendy Williams, Kim Porter, Misa Hilton, or Gina to do it. And one more thing, Diva. I believe Diddy is 10,000% wrong. I believe he is dangerous. He needs to go to jail for sure. However, I still have a few questions, because have you all noticed how anything to do with Cassie and Diddy, it always drops on us on a Friday so we can drag his ass all weekend? Y'all notice that? This is done intentionally. They want his image to be smeared beyond repair. They want these cases to come out. They want it to drain his pocket so he cannot adequately defend himself. And the reason they want the image of him kicking this woman while she is lying in the fetal position and not fighting back embedded in our minds. And so he cannot hide behind the false narratives of being a hands-on father, because in the Black community, that's how Black men rise to the top. And this will override the simplicity of him showing these babies, and these, especially the biracial ones, and people saying, oh, look at the baby, they're so cute and he's such a good father. This is why. Okay. That $30 million lawsuit hit the media on November the 17th. And now this video dropped today, May 17th, exactly 6 months later. The number 6, and I'm sure Felicia knows about it, is associated with consciousness, awareness, empathy, and destiny, among other things. And my question is, why now? Why today? Because be clear, this is a warning shot and something else is moving in the background. If there is an active investigation, quote unquote, with Homeland Security and the FBI, like you said, Diva, they must be having some problems, because why is CNN able to release this potential piece of footage and evidence of a criminal attack? Where are the RICO charges already? Why is the footage so chopped up? I want to see the part of the video of her exiting the elevator, because in the court paperwork, she said she did make it to the elevator in the lobby. She said she got to the lobby and she got a cab. I want to see the video footage of that. I know the hotel is not around anymore, but if you have that particular part, where's the rest of it? And the civil suit doc, she said she eventually made it to the elevator. She got on it. Why does it stop with him throwing the vase while he's sitting down and she's still standing in front of it? If you can find a video from 8 years ago, find the whole video. Don't give me a teaser. I want the full episode.
You better talk, E. So let me tell you, I've been saying this for months, but nobody wanted to listen to me. They do not have enough evidence to do these RICO charges, and it's pissing them off. But what really pissed them off is because King Combs want to play in their face. Oh, y'all missed the house next door. And then on top of that, he's getting comfortable and playing too when you know what you did. You know you a demon unless you just straight delusional. So you want to act like you just all innocent. Time tells truth. Yeah, well, it did, my brother. It did. And so everybody's saying, hold on one second. Built by Creators, thank you so much for the super chat. Hands on Father, or Father who lays hands. I'm trying to tell you. But see, everybody wants to say, oh, well, I'm not my daughter, not my daughter. At no time did she tell her mother, her father. Okay, let's say she didn't. What the Don started out with, what E kept the train going on, is the fact that there were so many other individuals who saw this thing and did nothing about it. And now everybody wanted, lock him up. No, y'all knew. And when this lawsuit goes down, when stuff goes down, this hotel should have been included on that lawsuit too. They had the footage. They didn't report this. They didn't call the cops. And they sold the footage to him. I want everybody to go down. Where am I at? I think, hold on one second, Julius. Okay, I think I lost one of the things I wanted to show. I did. So no worry, Julius, you're up. And I'm going to pull up my other thing.
This man is a beast. But I want to say to the beautiful, the late Kim Porter, may you rest in peace. My heart goes out to Quincy, not his brothers.
Oh my God.
I said what I said. His sisters, baby love. We knew that he was an animal. King Combs, Mini Diddy, the big dummy. Oh yeah, I said it. And I'm going to keep on going. He lit the fire under their behinds. And now we see the video. So, this is putting on a notice. Continue provoking and you will be charged. And he said in his little, big grown wannabe diss track, oh, you didn't check the house next door. Oh, the house next door? Oh, okay. Your Honor. Now they're going to check the house next door. Like I've been saying, his indictment is going to come. Is it going to be Rico? No. But he will be charged. And he will be indicted. But when I seen that video, it didn't surprise me. Because now I want to know. Okay, so let's really talk about what happened with Biggie and Tupac. Thank you, Keefy D. Even though you a big dummy too. Because so then let's talk. And, Miss J-Lo, what you got to say? Because, me and my nosy behind, I got questions. So, with all that being said, he will be charged down the line. Probably not right now. But, to Sean and King Combs, I think, is their wannabe names. Continue to be dumb. Continue to provoke the Fed. And you're going to be charged just like your demonic, evil daddy.
Thank you, Julius. Life lessons, you are correct. Biggie put his hands allegedly on Little Kim. They all got issues. Q, thank you for the super chat. I wonder if he overcompensates by giving those kids whatever they want because he knows what he did to their mama. Yikes. Allegedly did to their mama. Woo, woo, woo is all I can say. Hold on one second. I'm coming to you, Tay, but let me just add some more information to the story. So Cassie husband, Alex Fine, has been posting all day. He wrote, letter to women and children. Men who hit women aren't men. Men who enable it and protect those aren't men. As men, violence against women shouldn't be inevitable. Check your brothers, your friends, and your family. Our daughters, sisters, mothers, and wives should feel protected and loved. Hold the woman in your life with the utmost regard. Men who hurt women hate women. To all the survivors, find the men and women who help and love. To all survivors, your stories are real and people believe you. To all survivors, you're not alone. And there are men and women who care only for your well-being and safety. We want you to succeed and flourish. To all the women and children, I'm sorry you live in a world where you're not protected and you don't feel equal. I want to raise my daughters in a world where they are safe and loved. To the abusers, you're done. You're not safe anymore. You're not protected anymore. The men by your side are just as weak. You better talk about it. The men by Diddy's side, all of the security guards, all of them, all of the security, all of the people that watched and saw what went down, y'all are weak too. You're so miserable with yourself that I don't know what he's blocking out there, would be considered a kindness. I don't know what he tried to write there. But he's been posting all day long. That is Cassie's husband, Alex Fine. Okay, I believe I'm at Tay. Tay, you're up.
The video that showed Puff Daddy chase after Cassie with a towel around his waist while she's trying to escape from him right there. Not only did he kick her, not once, but twice. If I was Cassie, I would fight back for fighting my life right there too. I would throw everything back too, as he did too in the hotel right there. And tell that thanks to his little man, Lil Combs, that we're gonna call him Lil Combs. Thank you, Big Dummy, for tell the popo where the old house at too. That's a you just like act your dad right there. And now you gonna be like your dad too right there. Little Combs. That's all, Diva.
I appreciate you. Okay, so Alex Fine again, he wrote, "Stop the violence against women." I say stop the violence. Everybody, the Don said it before, everybody needs to keep their hands to themselves. Everybody. Keep your hands to yourself. Savannah, you're up.
I've already gone, Diva.
Oh, you gone? Thank you. Katrina, did I come to you already?
No, Diva.
Go ahead, you're up.
Okay, what I want to say is when God kicked Satan out, he didn't kick Satan out by himself. He kicked demons down with him. And I look at this man as being the spawn of Satan. I wish his mama would have swallowed instead of doing anything else. Anybody that put their hands on their mom, you honestly think they're not going to put their hands on you? If he's not respecting his mom, he's not going to respect you. He slapped his mom. The people around this man that allowed all this stuff to happen, I think all of them need to be accountable. The same thing I think about with R. Kelly. Y'all knew exactly what he was doing until the money ran out. They know exactly what's happening, but they still stick around and see this. And for these people, like I said, we already know what Puffy did. I never liked it, Puffy. I don't care how many remakes he did or how he danced around on stage. I never liked this man. You had, yeah, when Wendy told about him, he had Total waiting outside to beat Wendy up. I never liked this man. This man been a deviant ever since he came on the set. He used people to get his gain. He didn't care what he had to do or how he did it. He just wanted to be paid for himself. He didn't care about his artists, and they was doing all the work. He's a walking demon. And yes, Cassie did go out and recruit. She went out and recruited because there's no telling what she would have got if she didn't. She didn't just leave him one time. She left him 2 times. She left him 3 times. Yeah, you sit up there laughing at Kim, and this is what I don't understand. If you seeing this man do something to one woman, you think he's not gonna do it to you? A man won't even kick a dog. So therefore, he's thinking that you below a dog. A real man don't kick dogs. And if you find a man that's kicking a woman, so imagine what he's doing behind closed doors. That girl, I'm not saying that she couldn't fight back or whatsoever, but when she tried to leave him, he blowing up somebody's car in the yard. So I'm quite sure she was terrified. But yet still, and then he had this girl signed to a 10 album contract when the first album didn't do that good. So you made sure that she was gonna be your slave, even if it wasn't being your girlfriend, you still was gonna have an attachment to her because you got her to sign that crazy deal. And you used that. You used women. And then for the other lady, Gina, the one that he stomped the baby out, you still want to be his girlfriend. You online now, what, a couple of months ago, arguing with Young Miami. And Young Miami is doing the same thing that Cassie is doing because she's recruiting women. Diddy's not having these women around. They're not serving a purpose for him because he don't really want women anyway. So the women is serving a purpose for him. I just don't get it. And then the thing about it is you black this girl eye, as so they say. And maybe she thought he was asleep when she walked to the elevator. That's probably why when she was rushing. The girl didn't have no shoes on. She was trying to put her shoes and stuff on at the elevator. You come out there, you come out your room to beat somebody up, to drag them. She was in a corner when he was throwing a vase at her. She was squished down in a corner. And I know people saying that she could have fought back or whatsoever. But when you in that time, you don't know what to do. And they're telling what kind of substance he had in her. The reason he probably knocked her out when she was laying on that ground. It's sad. It's a sad situation. And yes, she was out there recruiting women too. The same way he had little Rodney out there, he had to wear a hat. Because they're thinking that they're going to get paid. Like you said, Diva, it's a money thing. When you get to that status, you don't want that status to end. But the thing that I'm not saying right now, with her husband, Alex Fine, out of all the men that was around, he was the only man to get her out that situation. The rest of the men turned their heads, looked the other way or whatsoever. So I'm trying to figure out what type of connection that Alex Fine family have that Diddy didn't try to go after this man, or was he scared of this man, or what this man seen him do a lot of stuff and probably said that I'm going to report you, but he didn't go after this man. He didn't go after this white man, but he went after all the other black people, but you didn't go after this one. So he was the only man with some balls to get Cassie out that situation. You got Gene Deal, big as I don't know what. But you ain't do nothing either. You got the other bodyguards. None of them do anything either. Meek Mills, all of them talking up for Diddy because you his girlfriend. Let it go. Stay in a man's place. And men need to be men. But women need to stand up and be women themselves and stop having themselves degraded just for the almighty dollar. Because the almighty dollar might put you in a grave. That's all I got, Diva.
I appreciate you. Thank you. Felicia, you're up.
Good evening, everybody. I'm so glad I got up here tonight. If I may, Diva, with your permission, I'd like to go back to the lawsuit.
Yeah, of course.
There's a couple of people in the chat who's new to the family, and they don't know that we read here with full comprehension.
Come on now.
We discuss the material that people put before us, and we kind of go through it and say, okay, this means that kind of meant this. So I'm going to go back to Cassie's lawsuit, and I'm going to start over at 120.
Come on now.
Or around March 2016, during an FO, which is a freak off, and in this document, she talks about all the substances that they use during a freak off. So I'm gathering she was still under the influence, as Katrina said, when she's heading for the elevator. So she is at the Intercontinental Hotel in Century City, Los Angeles. Mr. Combs became extremely intoxicated and punched Miss Ventura in the face, giving her a black eye. After he fell asleep, Miss Ventura tried to leave the hotel room, but as she exited, Mr. Combs awoke and began screaming at Miss Ventura. He followed her into the hallway of the hotel while yelling at her. He grabbed at her and then took glass vases in the hallway and threw them at her, causing glass to crash around them as she ran to the elevator to escape. She managed to get into the elevator. This supports E because we don't see her getting into the elevator. And when she got to the lobby, quickly took a cab to her apartment. Upon realizing that her running away would cause Mr. Combs to be even angrier with her and completely stuck in his vicious cycle of abuse, Miss Ventura returned to the hotel with the intention of apologizing for running away from her abuser. When she returned, hotel security staff urged her to get back into a cab and go to her apartment, suggesting that they had seen the security footage showing Mr. Combs beating Miss Ventura and throwing glass at her in the hotel hallway. Upon information and belief, Mr. Combs paid the Intercontinental Century City $50,000 for the hallway security footage from that evening. After this, Miss Ventura left her home in Comstock and went to hide away at a friend's house in Florida. James Cruz, the president of Bad Board Management, tracked Miss Ventura down and told her that her single would not be released if she did not answer Mr. Combs' phone calls.
Hold on, Felicia. Come on now.
Come on.
Come on now. What did I say earlier? When it's the money. Come on, Felicia. Say that sentence one more again.
124.
Felicia.
124 of her lawsuit.
Hey, Felicia, hold on 1 second. Let me tell you this. We don't make stuff up over here. This is her words, her lawyer, her lawsuit. Go ahead, girlfriend. I'm going to sit back and drink some water. Go ahead.
I'll repeat it. 124. After this, Miss Ventura left her home in Comstock and went to a hideaway at a friend's home in Florida. James Cruz, president of Bad Boy Management, tracked Miss Ventura down and told her that her single would not be released if she did not answer Mr. Combs' phone calls. A woman who worked at Sony Music reached out to her with a similar ultimatum concerning her record. Incredibly, Mr. Combs even convinced one of his attorneys to call Miss Ventura at this time. This lawyer told Miss Ventura that, quote, it is in your best interest to call Mr. Combs back, close quote. Each time Miss Ventura tried to run away, Mr. Combs and his powerful network would force her back to him.
Now, hold on 1 second. Force her back or say, if you want your music out, if you want to live this lifestyle, if you want to continue to dress in Gucci, Louis, whatever else, I suggest you make that phone call. Did I not say to y'all, it is interesting to me that you was forced to stay, but all of a sudden, Alex Fine comes along, he's yay big, and you get to leave with him. Come on now, you better talk the talk, Felicia, from the lawsuit, not us making it up, not us victim shaming, not us losing our mind. We giving y'all the information here, and over here, we like to break it down and make it make sense. And like E said, they gave us the chopped up video, and now y'all know that she did get down to the lobby. She did get to go home, and she came back. And this was after she had already got dragged, beat, and so forth and so on.
Yes, ma'am. And if I may, for someone in the chat that said something about, well, we don't know this for a fact with Miss Ventura, because I do want to be balanced, because we have studied and read this lawsuit. And those of you who remember, I continued to come back to 128.
Come on,
Mr.
talk.
Combs' tight hold over her life had irreparably damaged her friendships. Around 2018, when Miss Ventura was with her friend Carrie Morgan in her house, Mr. Combs used his key to Miss Ventura's house and came in unannounced. He and Miss Morgan, that's the friend, had an altercation during which Mr. Combs threw a hanger at Miss Morgan. Upon information and belief, the incident resulted in a settlement between Mr. Combs and Miss Morgan, and Miss Ventura, that would be Cassie, ended up paying Miss Morgan additional funds in an attempt to resolve the dispute between her close friend and her abusive and controlling boyfriend. The relationship between Miss Ventura and Miss Morgan has been strained since this time.
Freeze for 1 minute, Felicia. What did the Don say? And y'all lost your natural mind. There's some other victims. So Cassie was dragging other people in this thing. So Cassie said, this ain't us making this up. We're not putting 20 on 10. We're not trying to victim shame.
Correct.
Diddy paid the chick, and Cassie paid out some money too.
Correct.
We y'all, when y'all come over here, then get to be a passenger on the train. Are y'all ready to ride the train, or do y'all want to just go with the flow of, oh my God, the video was so hard to watch. This is terrible. This is disgusting. I never seen anything like it. I seen about 22,000 videos like it. And I told y'all all the famous ones that we all probably saw. Do y'all not remember that football player who the girlfriend got pregnant and he followed her in the car. He unalived her. The baby lived, unfortunately, and the baby had
Ray
some
Caruth.
Ray Caruth. No, this
Ray
is
Caruth.
an ongoing situation. But I said to y'all, if y'all follow me over here, you're a regular rider. I will live in a studio apartment before I sell my soul to the devil so I can have a Gucci and a Louis bag on and nursing my black eye. It starts within. You want money that bad? You know what? Go back to what's her name? What's her darn name? She said you want fame. Fame costs. How much are you willing to pay for fame? Y'all can have it. I'll go work one full-time job, go to Target after, and be in my studio apartment with my Pellegrino water and the food I made on my little stove, and go to sleep and watch my TV and cable before I do all of that. See, she went back. They said they kept talking about the record. No, you know what? I'll sing on YouTube first. Go ahead, Felicia. You came through right on time. We're going to have you the fact checker over here. Come on now, go ahead.
Well, there's a lot more. I did see that video. I'm not surprised. No, I was somewhat surprised because he actually covered up. I would have expected him to run out into the hallway with nothing on, because that's how he do. And I was listening to E, and perhaps there were certain parts where he is totally nude and they couldn't show it.
That's what I was getting ready to say. He was naked beating her too. They didn't show that part.
Right.
He was naked.
Exactly. Go ahead, Leah. That's exactly what I'm thinking. That he was nude in certain parts and they just couldn't show us all of that. So they can only show us the part with the towel. I don't know where this footage came out from, but I have said it before. I firmly believe that someone far greater than the regular million billionaires want this man out and done and in the jail. And they want to make sure that they stay on his neck. And so this video will play all through the weekend. You're right, E. And we'll drag him all weekend long. And we're going to go right into Memorial Day with some more. He got to get clinked and locked up. And with Tay, I stand with her. I'm just waiting for the handcuffs to come and the charges. I'm done.
Yeah. They said give it up for the fact checker, y'all.
Hey, Diva, can I say one quick thing?
Of course you can. Of course.
So we like to talk about I wouldn't let my daughter, or my daughter was be in this situation with this one person. This is one person in a triage of victims. But just like E said, and that struck a chord, we're leaning so hard on this one person. But there are other people's daughters that we're not giving about.
Come on now.
We don't care about those other people's daughters.
Come on.
We just so bent out of shape, rightfully so, but just on this one person. There were other daughters that got this treatment and probably even worse. And we just heard the court documents. This particular person made other daughters.
Come on. Oh, shoot. Come on.
Treatment.
Right.
But we don't want to talk about that. The church got real quiet when the court documents got read.
Come on now. Because nobody wants facts. Everybody wants us to do a video where we just are like, oh my God, she got beat. Let me be clear, right? Let me say this. Sharon's World saying women on here speaking loud about the woman that was beaten and nothing about the man, who many, both men and women, has said this man is an animal. Disgusting. So Sharon, I would say this to you. And I feel like you've been around us. If you've been around us, then you should know. But for those that don't know, let me be extremely clear. As a female, as a woman,
as a mom,
as a mom, come on, E, and as a mom, The Don said it best on some of our other shows. Everybody should keep their hands to themselves. If the message you are getting, Sharon, from any one of us females on this panel is that we are trying to down a woman and we're saying, go Diddy should be free, you are missing the point. Because let me be very clear. We are all 10 toes down that Diddy needs to be locked up under the jail. But the point that we're not missing, because you can go all over YouTube, if all you want to hear is the whole video saying that Diddy is a dog and he should go to jail. You can go all over YouTube. They got it for you. But see, over here, we do a little bit more. Because Diddy is not the only one that needs to go in this jail. Had other people stepped up and did the right thing, he wouldn't have been able to do this for decades. All of these people never get away with this solo. You got the Gene Jill that said he been there, he was around. He saw everything but violence. I never physically, because I would have stopped it. I would have stopped it. That's what he said out of his mouth. You got the Roger Bonds. Oh, I saved Cassie that one day, but she was getting beat for a decade. So you saved her that one day, and you was his security and head of the security for a whole decade, and you mean to tell me you never saw anything else? It's the lies for me. So what we are saying over here is that a whole slew of people need to go down. Come on, just like with R. Kelly. R. Kelly didn't do that alone because he couldn't even read and write. So he wasn't buying nobody plane tickets. He wasn't ordering the plane tickets. People was helping him do it, and they was helping themselves to some of them young girls too. So the predators are still out there. It's no different than you getting the kingpin, but all of the little minions are still on the street selling drugs. So you didn't stop nothing. You ain't stop nothing. Because if you got the kingpin, they're going to find another supplier and they're going to keep it pushing. So yeah, you can go all over YouTube. You just click, 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 click. And they're going to be like, that video was hard to watch. Oh my God, I couldn't even hardly watch it. You couldn't hardly watch it? Check out that video where the football player literally picked that girl up and slammed her into a whole TV. What I'm saying, and guess what? And that guy, and then she went to the courtroom when it was time and said, please let him out because he's a good father. So this is bigger than what y'all think. This is about instilling in some people a little bit more, so that part of this won't go on for as long as it goes on in some different things. And it's about all the people surrounding that turn a blind eye. Why? Because the almighty dollar. Callie, if he dare touches anybody now, he's not in the same position he was in before. He is not in the same position that he was in before. If he dare tries to do a freak off and anybody finds out, if he dare puts his hand on anybody, they will lock him up with the quickness. They are waiting for him to slip so they can get him on something that they can stick. Right now, they are having trouble sticking it to him. And so that's why this video was leaked. This video was leaked because they said, you know what? We can't get him legally, but we're going to get him in the public eye. And to go back to what you said, E, that's why they dropped it on a Friday. That's why they dropped it on a Friday. They dropped it. Do you really think all of a sudden CNN got a whole lot to dig? You want some videos? You got some political videos. I ain't going to mention his name that could be out. But all of a sudden, give me 1 minute, E. They got this video from 2016 of Diddy doing this. That video was hand delivered to them. and like you said, he chopped up with no context, so that exactly what everybody was saying it would happen, until we got our fact checker Felicia that came in there and said she did get down the stairs, because the way it looks in that video is like she got to the elevator, she couldn't get away, and he dragged her back to the room. But out of her own mouth, in the court documents, she got downstairs, she got home, and she came back, and the people told her, girl, get out of here. Go ahead, E.
But, and even on the CNN, because like I told you, I saw it in the lobby. They didn't even highlight that portion of the court documents that Felicia read that acknowledged that she left. She was able to leave, and that she was willing to come back of her own will. The other thing, because I thought about that maybe some of it may have been chopped up because he was not dressed. And then I thought about on the other police shows like Cops, where when someone has exposed themselves, they will put the little the pixels over it and cover it. And that could have been done, because I just don't see why they wouldn't want to present him in that way, because it would just make him look more monstrous. And that's their end goal right now, right? And the last thing I was going to say was, when I know when I spoke, I know when the Don spoke, I know when you spoke, Diva, all three of us said that what he did was 10,000% wrong. We all acknowledge that it is, that what he did to her was uncalled for. We're not justifying it. He should be in jail. We all said that. But I think where it got lost in translation was people wanted to trauma bond, and they wanted to hear how he was flat out wrong, and they didn't want to hear anything bad about her, because again, they fell for the media trick. It's magic. Because I've been through something like this, or I've seen someone I know go through something like this, that was so traumatizing, I couldn't see it. How dare you tell me anything bad about this Mexican, Black, and Filipino woman? I'll tell you a lot more bad things about her. So like you said, Diva, if you want to think critically, then, enjoy the conversation. If not, there are plenty of other channels where they're going to tell you everything you want to hear, and then you can cry together, and then you can go on tour like Carlos King and Melody Holt.
So you are right. When you watch the CNN video, they actually do pull up part of the lawsuit and show you the piece that collaborates with him doing whatever to her, but they don't show the other numbers where she says, I got downstairs, I came back, I this, I that, whatever. LV said that. Thank you for the super chat. I want to hear from those of you that didn't believe Cassie and supported Diddy. They don't want to speak now, because now they're saying, listen, the Don, that's what happens when a predator takes your soul. The woman is definitely a victim. Don't cheat the diva. Come on, y'all, hit the like button. They're having trouble sticking it to me because Cassie and others got the other victims. Cassie said in her suit that she did the hiring. His hands aren't directly on it. Course correction, you have connected with me. I've been saying this for months, though. That's what the issue is. And it goes back to J-Lo. But it seems like he does this to everybody, because Cassie even said it. He tells them, you hold the weapons. Okay? It goes back to Brendan Paul. Now, I need the substances, but I ain't going to carry them on me. You hold them. He said it it was in the Little Rodney lawsuit. The house manager said, y'all need to walk around with the pouch with the substances in it in case you bump into Diddy in the West Wing and he needs something, you'll have it on you. His hands are always clean in the sense of when it comes to evidence. Evidence is always on somebody else. And all of the somebody else's wasn't necessarily under the influence when they had said evidence. Allegedly, J-Lo hold the pow because she was his girlfriend and he told her to. Anybody else?
Like I said, Diva, we know these women are victims or whatsoever, but
Yeah.
they still kept coming back. Why you keep coming back? The same thing with Gina, the one that he stomped the baby out, but you still want to be back with him. You keep coming back. Like you said, it's for the lifestyle. They want to live that lifestyle. They don't care how they get treated, how many bumps they got side their head. They still want to live that lifestyle. That's what I don't understand. Well, that's them, but that's what I don't get. But anyway.
Little Ronnie is another one, though. In his own lawsuit with his own words, Little Ronnie said, I lived there on and off. Kept coming back. Let me just share screen. So Judge Mathis had a hard time watching the Cassie video. Sadly, she is not the only victim. Sisters, keep your head up. So that's that. There you go. Sadly, she is not the only victim. People in the industry, they knew about this man for years. Years. But you got even Judge Mathis saying, sadly, she is not the only victim. Leo, go ahead.
That's the part I missed. I wanted to say too. I also heard on the media, on the networks and the news nations and all of that, everybody is grabbing their pearls. They so shocked. They can't. It's the gaslighting for me. Everybody talking about how nobody knew that Diddy was doing. Look, I'm 50-some years old. I know Diddy from the 90s. I always knew Diddy was doing this. And all these old people with their gray hairs in their head too on the commentary saying they ain't know. They all in the entertainment industry, news part of the industry, the celebrity news part of the industry, and ain't none of them know. Quit lying. Stop it. Now the footage is out. Now everybody is all acting like they ain't never know. They all knew. They all knew. Even Stephen A. Smith said he been to the parties. When he went to the parties, it was the most exclusive ticket you could get to go to the party. Right? Everybody wanted to be invited to the parties. The news people, the celebrities, the athletes, all of them, the singers, the entertainers, all of them wanted to go to the parties. So they need to stop trying to tell us that nobody knew and everybody is all shocked.
Come on now.
What's that guy name? The one that was at the radio station. He was at one of Diddy's parties, and he said he went to the radio station because he was telling his story. But he said if anything happened to him, he wanted people to know that Diddy did it. You know, he was talking about, I guess, the freak offs or whatsoever. That Diddy was cozy up with a man drinking at the same glass. I forgot his name, but he did it. He went on a radio station talking about it.
Well, I'm not sure, but I do want to say one thing because with that post from Judge Mathis, I think he's clocked it. He's clocked it. He says, sisters, he didn't say sisters, keep your head up, because he knows that they're anchoring this woman in the media. And it's an insult to all of the Black women who have come before, who have suffered the abuse at this man, even the women who are unknown. The Don has mentioned it several times about the women who were put up for hire, and maybe some men too. We don't know their names, but again, all of those people who we would deem to be quote unquote victims have no face, have no name. And then this woman, and I'm gonna quote Leo with the complexion for the protection, she's anchored in the media as being the brave one, as being the one who made it all happen. It's an insult to a certain degree. So
well, I will say this, E. Fortunately for that lawsuit, it is going to stop his reign of abuse, right? So fortunately, so I understand. I'm saying she's the catalyst to getting this train rolling, right? Because we're saying the woman, we're saying the perhaps adult man. But allegedly, how do I say this? Allegedly, Gene Deal told the story about Usher. In Usher being with Diddy in this camp when he was of a young age. And of course, we cannot say anything we don't know, but allegedly, I feel that Justin Bieber's issues could perhaps stem from
There's
just
a video out of Justin Bieber.
Just give me a minute, please, Julius. Just could stem from just his time spent with Diddy. So that the man is a beast. His time has come, and now he could probably stop that little arrogance that he was having, because he thought he was on the wave of making a little comeback. And then they showed him real quick in a hurry that, no, bro, we're going to have your name dragged through the mud, because now people are going to physically see with their own eyes what you have done. Yeah, time tells the truth. He got that right. Manifested his own karma, because he's a beast. And they saying that 2 days after that attack, they were at industry events, and now they're bringing up the pictures, and they're saying, you could see bruises on her. So this was 2 days after the event. They're circling, bruises on her legs or whatever. I thought there was another picture of her. Oh yeah, they're saying on her arm there. So it's just unfortunate. And to go to what you were saying, E, and whoever else, yeah, that towel fell down. They chopped that video up. He's a beast. But maybe at this point now, there will be, because I'm sure, I'm going to be very honest with you, I feel like there's hundreds of victims. Hundreds. And maybe the more they see this tide changing and going in a different direction, maybe they will have the courage to come forth and to speak up.
And what about the
I
men
think
that's
so
not
too,
around?
Diva. I think so too. I think that once they see that they're not the only ones, I think so too. Because I don't think it's hundreds of victims, Diva. I think it's thousands of victims, to be honest with you.
Oh, good gosh.
And what about the men that sat around knowing that these women was finna be drugged, drinking this alcohol? Who to say that some of them women survived? Who to say some of them didn't OD? You don't know what happened to these women, and y'all sitting around knowing that these women finna drink this tainted alcohol. I think all of them need to be locked up. I think Diddy and his whole entourage, Gene Deal, all of them should be locked up, because y'all knew this stuff was happening. And who to say what happened to these people that drunk that mess? We don't know. Like you say, it's a lot of victims out there. We don't know what happened to these people. We don't know what happened to these girls. Maybe everybody can't take drugs at a certain extent of their life, or maybe it's too strong for them if they never did it before, and maybe they OD'd. We don't know this. And they sat around knowing that this stuff was tainted, and they let these girls drink this stuff anyway. And that's ridiculous. And I think all of them that's coming out talking about it, I think they need to be put in jail too, because you sat around and you seen this. And if any one of those people did OD and didn't make it, the ones that sat around and seen it should be locked up as well.
There's a lot of stuff that still needs to come out. And I'm going to say this too. I don't imagine that they were seeing all of this violation or all of this activity going on, and they never engaged. They were so strong, they never engaged. I don't believe that. I don't believe that for 1 second. They watched all of this activity going on, people with no clothes on, and they never engaged. They just stood there, posed, mind their business. Or, as Roger Bonds would say, I saw a whole lot of men that I didn't know before go in the room. Well, you as security get an F. You see men go in the room, you don't know who they are. Isn't that what you're supposed to do as security? Make sure you know who everybody is, so that you know that nobody's going in that room to hurt the person that you're supposed to be guarding. Come on now. I'm kind of scared. If your BFF was abused, would you call police? Even if she told you please don't, and respect her request, I agree. People who knew were wrong. So you got a good question there, and I think we kind of talked about that. But I'm going to answer that. Hold on one second. Let me catch this super chat. LV said that. Thank you for the super chat. Why do victims of DV keep returning? Study the cycle of violence. It messes up your mind. Until you go through it, you won't understand. So, okay, so y'all both got two good, very questions there. Let me address it real short before I run into this feel-good story and close out for the night. Okay, I will say this. Okay, when it comes to reporting DV or what someone else is going through, Felicia also added there how Cassie's girlfriend got caught in the aftermath, and she Diddy had to end up paying her, and so did Cassie. So here's the thing. I do remove myself out of certain situations. I got a very, very, very like friend that I know. And listen, you could tell me about your situation, but I'm not going to listen about the same situation 10 times. Because after that, like, if in the midst of that, I told you, okay, you got to figure this thing out, and I give you some tips, but you want to remain in that vicious cycle, then I got to leave you where you at. And I could pray for you. That's it. Because I'm not going to stay in that situation with you. If you want out, then let's find the exit plan. But if that's where you want to stay and you want to be, then I got to let you be there, and I'm going to go back in my corner and I'm going to pray for you. Okay. And I understand that it is a vicious cycle, but I think some individuals on certain levels, they stay in that cycle because of the benefit that they get on the other side. Do you understand? They kept telling her, your music, your music, your music. Let's be clear. She got a 10-year deal off the rip. Whitney Houston, who is the voice, who was the voice, didn't get no 10-year deal off the rip, and that girl could sing her behind off. So she knew what was good, in my opinion, from day one. She knew what it was about. You tell me an artist that right out the door got a 10 whatever deal that she got. I don't know of one. Even the best of them. Yeah, that's what I meant to say, a 10 album deal. 10 albums. You tell me the best artist out there who got a 10 album deal off the rip. I don't even think Michael Jackson did. So that tells you something. But I don't know, do y'all want to talk? You get used to the fame, the lifestyle, and all this stuff that comes with it. And then what happens too with these particular individuals, every day is not a bad day. But when the bad days come, they seem to get worse and worse and worse. And then, yes, they shower you with gifts. You know what, we have to have, I guess, a whole nother conversation on that particular situation. I'll give anybody 60 seconds before I play this feel-good story. Any closing thoughts on this Diddy Day thing?
Okay, a lot of people, y'all need to start watching these Lifetime movies where we see these women getting the beat the heck up. And next thing you know, the man walking in the house with a present. And oh, it's okay. He's okay. We gonna work it out ourselves. Then the next thing you know, they're getting that done fourth piece again across the eyes. And then they want to complain or leave or whatsoever. But you know he was like this when he bought you these gifts. So you being mesmerized by the materialistic things, but you're not mesmerizing the inner side of your insides because you're not taking heed of what you're worth. You're going by what you can get and what you see, and that's never going to work. I'm done.
Thank you. All right, guys, I'm gonna roll right into this feel good story as long as I can find it. I think this is it.
Two strangers. Cindy Tutko was her name. She was at the Atlanta airport earlier this year, just trying to get to her gate, when a man noticed that she was limping. So what did he do? He didn't ignore it. He offered to help her out. Even she was very surprised by what came next. Our lead national correspondent, David Bagnall, traveled to the man's hometown of Lafayette, Louisiana, to highlight the importance of taking care of others, even those you do not know.
Jamie Tutko is about to meet the man who went out of his way to help Jamie's mom.
What's going on, man?
How you doing,
It's
sir?
great to see you.
Pleasure
Great
to
to
meet
see
you.
you, man. It's awesome to meet you.
How's your mama?
She's good. She's good.
She is Cindy Tutko. About a month ago, Cindy was flying through the Atlanta airport heading home to Florida. She had just left Baton Rouge, Louisiana after visiting Jamie and his family. She arrived to Terminal C at the world's busiest airport in Atlanta and needed to get to Terminal F for her next flight. But the trains were down. So with a torn ACL and a knee in need of replacement, she started walking.
She had actually fallen that day, and she put herself into tears with how much pain her knee was in. So when I was taking her to the airport, I could tell she was hurting.
I had a big heavy satchel that I was carrying, and that's what was weighing me down. And it was full and heavy, very heavy.
Michael, who happens to be from Lafayette, Louisiana, spotted Cindy limping along.
Initially, Cindy said when you offered to help her, it was almost a little too forward, she was like, oh, no, I'm good.
Miss Cindy's she's like my mom. She's a striking woman. She captures the room, but she's a strong woman.
Well, Louisiana, but it's that culture that you talk about. We want to help. For some people, it's a little much, but that's just who we are.
And that is exactly why Michael wasn't taking no for an answer.
I grabbed her black statue and I put it on. I didn't ask her. Come on.
Yeah, let's go.
At first, I thought, what if this guy steals my bag and is going to take off? I'm doomed. I can't run after him.
And we walked and shot the breeze.
Within seconds, really, I realized he was genuinely being nice. He was just a nice guy and he was helping me out.
For 55 minutes, Michael carried Cindy's bag and walked right alongside her through terminals C, D, E, all the way to F.
Right before we got to the gate, he grabs my hand, he looks at me and he goes, "You're my mom." And I'm like, okay. And we walk up to the gate and he tells the guys at the gate, he says, this is my mother and she's got some issues with her knee. And is there any way that she can get on the plane before everybody else? Because she walks very slowly. And the guy was like, sure, no problem.
Your mom gave me a hug, gave me a little kiss on the cheek, and said your mom would be proud of me. That's all I needed, man.
Cindy texted Jamie to tell him all about that nice guy Michael from Lafayette. Jamie immediately turned to social media, asking for help finding him. It took just a little over a day.
His fiance messaged me on Twitter. She said, hey, I think that the Michael that you're looking for is my Michael. And I said, oh, really? Why do you think that?
My Michael.
And then she said, did your mom did she have knee surgery or is she about to have knee surgery? And I said, boom, that's it.
It's sad that our society has eroded to a point where I'm on TV and Jamie's on TV and you're here, which we're flattered. But I mean, I didn't do anything, these guys or Jamie or yourself. Just, be a human being.
Michael didn't know this, but the lady he helped is a helper herself. You see, Cindy serves the deaf community as a sign language interpreter.
My parents were both deaf. So sign language was my first language. And I've been dealing with the deaf ever since.
Well, it seems to me that I'm now understanding one nice guy, Michael, helped another nice person named Cindy.
Thank you.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I guess that's me.
I think thank you is...
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you, David.
My friends, the language of kindness is universal. And take it from this Cajun, it is the Louisiana way.
I may not have been born here myself, but this is home. Louisiana is home to me, and you know, I love it here, and this is the best place in the world.
Well, we're happy to have
With
you.
the best people in the world.
It's
With the best people in the world. There's no
Bingo.
doubt about that. Absolutely no doubt. Yeah.
It seems so simple, and it seemingly is such not a big deal, but it is in that simplicity that there is the beauty. It's that little act of helping a random person get to a place that she needs to go and making it easier for her. Yeah. Right?
That's
Yeah.
deep when you break it down. Well spoken.
But it does. You're
Yeah.
correct. Yeah, you're absolutely
You
right.
just broke it down to.
Yeah.
If people can understand that, sir, this was worth everything.
Yeah.
Wow. Boy, David, we all like that. My Michael. And I love that you had the video that document all the ways that they walk to all the different terminals. I disagree with Michael when he says anybody would have done the same thing. No, they wouldn't have walked an hour with a stranger to go from point A, from terminal A all the way to terminal F or whatever it was.
Yeah.
It's a great story.
I also love the fact, David, that they, when people do kind things in the world, they don't do it to expect people to take recognition. But when you do take recognition of those kind acts, there's a realization, and that's why you saw tears in her eyes, because all of a sudden you were basically telling her that she'd done a wonderful thing and that he had done a wonderful thing, and that's what it's all about.
Yes. I love the slug for your story. David, the slug for your story is Airport Angel. I think that's a perfect way to describe Cindy, actually, and to describe my Michael. Yeah. What were you going to say?
Yeah, as we were getting ready for this story last night, I promoted it and somebody said, "Oh, David, I don't know if I would have done that. And that makes me probably not as good a person." And I said, that's why this story is so good to hear, because I think it collectively says to all of us, the next time you walk by Cindy and just pass her by, and a lot of people did, maybe after you see this story, you'll just think about doing something different next time. Maybe helping.
But here's to Cindy for accepting the help. A lot of people sometimes don't. He went the extra mile.
Well said, Michelle. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
David, as always, my friend, beautiful story. Thank you very much for sharing it.
Time now.
I thought it was a great story. Let's just be kind to each other, right? An hour he walked. I guess he didn't have a flight. I don't know. When I was watching this one, I was like, wow. I just think it was a great person, but I also think that things don't just happen like out of nowhere. She's such a good and giving person. And so God sends somebody her way in her time of need, to help her across, because they said the trains were broken so that she can get to her side where she needed to get to. Great story. Listen, guys, this Diddy thing is loaded. Is loaded with a ton of conversations and avenues in which we can go. And the best thing I can say is, for sure, everybody should keep their hands to themselves. For sure, we have to teach our young men and women, because remember, there were male S workers that, he had her get for these freak offs too, right? So it's not just the females, it's the men too, because those men were pretty much used. And again, we don't know. It's the diseases too, right? It's the STDs and all of that. You're not doing all of these things, and all of a sudden, they are full of substances, and they're like, oh, wait a minute, let me get a condom. It's a lot. But if you come over here, that's why we say buckle your seatbelt, because we're going to talk, okay? We're going to talk. And Ronald, I appreciate you. Thank you so much, okay? I appreciate everybody for coming through. If you didn't hit the like button coming in, please hit the like button going out. Yes, call the DV hotline if you are going through it. Thank you so much for that, Bunny. You know what? So I got to get that number and I will attach it to this video. But yes, get help. Thank you for that, Bunny. Get help. But thank you, everybody. If you didn't hit the like button coming in, hit the like button going out. Good night and goodbye, everybody. And thank you for spending your Friday night with me. I appreciate y'all. Bye, everyone.
Do not cheat the diva.